This is the second Sunday in 2026. We've come through Advent. We've done the burning bowl. We've done the white stone for those of you that were present for those things. And now we're beginning this new year. And we have a vision for this new year, and that's really living our mission and vision as a community. No longer just talking about it, but living it. And how do we go about that? And we'll be discussing that more and more as we move in the next Sundays, in the next months of this year. We're also this year, we're going to each month take one of the 12 powers. If you aren't familiar with the 12 powers of unity, the 12 powers are the divine powers, the divine attributes, the divine qualities that we all possess. And we don't just possess just 12 of them, but there are 12 that we focus on. So we talk about those 12. And this month, the power is faith. So we're going to talk a little more today about faith. And faith, probably not like I talked about it when I spoke on faith in Advent, because I wanted to give it a practical application, because faith is so important in the part it plays for our manifesting, how we create in our life. So those things that we do desire, that we do envision for ourselves, our faith plays an important part with that. So I'm going to share some pieces about faith today before we get to the exercise. Because faith isn't based in outcomes. Faith is really about a spiritual perception, how we perceive our spiritual world. And I've got a little quote here for you. This is from Linda Martellett-Whitsett, and she wrote a book called Divine Audacity. And Divine Audacity talks about the 12 powers. It's her explanation and sharing about the 12 powers. So it's actually a great and fun read because it's very engaging, it's very easy. There's also another book. It's called The 12 Powers of Man by Charles Fillmore. Charles is the co-founder of the Unity Movement. That's another great book. It's a whole different read than the Martellett-Whitsett's because it was written 100 years ago, basically. So it's a much different kind of vocabulary and read, but nonetheless, still a wonderful read on clarity about what these 12 powers mean in our lives. So I'm going to read this here from Linda. It says, faith is not the same as belief in. Like saying I have belief in a God that will take care of me. God is not someone who acts, but a principle that is. Faith is our innate power to create a reality by perceptions, our beliefs, and our interpretations. And I'm going to read that again. Faith is our innate power to create our reality by our perceptions, our beliefs, and our interactions, our interpretations. According to our faith, we live in assurance. According to our faith, we expect. So, Charles also had things to say about faith, and what he said that it's a magnetic power that draws into us our heart's desire from the invisible spiritual substance. And faith is a deep inner knowing that that which is sought, it is already ours for the taking. One of my favorite quotes, that which is sought is already ours for the taking. That whatever it is that we think that we're seeking, that seems to be out here and we're reaching for, is already ours for the taking. And I think we'll give more clarity with that as I progress here. So faith is that deep inner knowing, too, that what is sought is ours for the taking. So faith really is our ability to see in the mind the spirit mind, or the spiritual perception. So it's our ability to perceive and see spiritually. Spiritually meaning that we're what? What are y'all? Hey, Angela, I'm going to pick on you. What are you? From a spiritual point of view, what are you?
I'm whole.
You're whole, okay? And you are divine. Okay? Sometimes we don't like to use that word, and I get that. What that means when we say I'm divine is that being made in the image and likeness of God, then all that divine is here. Not in its completeness. I don't have all the awareness of what divine means. I don't have all the experience of God, but I have those qualities and attributes of God, is what we mean by that. So she may be whole, but in that wholeness, I recognize that as her divineness. And that's true of all of us. So we're saying that faith is really us recognizing our divineness, but also recognizing that spiritual self before we see the things in form that show up in our life or that we want to show up in our life. So faith really happens before the form happens, before the manifestation, before the creation takes place. So, Union's definition of faith is a stabilizing power of consciousness. We're using our faith to help stabilize or anchor our consciousness, meaning to hold it in place, hold it on one theme. So it holds our awareness steady, is really a saying, and steady in possibility, because in infinite mind, there are infinite possibilities. So we have the opportunity to hold any of those possibilities. So our faith is helping us hold those possibilities. Okay? Now, faith doesn't ignore reality. Okay? So it's not about saying I deny that these things are happening to me. We're not denying reality. It's holding a bigger picture and a more complete picture than this one thing that may be taking place in my life. Okay? So faith is choosing where to anchor our awareness. Where to anchor our awareness. What it is that we hold in awareness. So our awareness is first our source, the source of who we are, the source of what we arise from, and we arise from source. Okay? Being aware of that. That's part of the foundation of faith. But faith is also being that it determines what we're being loyal to. And loyal means what? I'm dedicated to. I give this value and significance. And our faith is helping us determine what we're going to be loyal to, what we're going to be dedicated to, what matters, what's a priority for us in our life. So again, faith is the innate power to shape experience through perception, belief, and interpretation. It's a deep inner knowing that which is sought is already ours for the taking. And many of these spiritual paths align with that understanding. They present it with their own vocabulary, but they have that same understanding. Buddhism says that mind is the forerunner of all things, and that what you hold in awareness is the path you walk. In other words, what you hold in awareness, what you think, ends up being the life you live, the path you walk towards. Buddhism approaches that. In Unity, we say reality organizes itself around what is spoken, held, and recognized as true. We understand the power of our words, but our thoughts that are held in words as well. That power that ends up shaping who we are, how we show up, and thus how we show up, how we interact, and what gets created, manifested in our world. In Genesis, the book of Genesis in the Bible, Genesis is all about creation. And it says, and God said this, and God said that, and God said, and God said, and God said, all the way through Genesis. Okay? Tons of and God said. So it was really helping, it's representing this consciousness is claiming form. So it's saying this God consciousness is claiming by stating and saying, said, is claiming form. So it's part of that beginning our understanding that our awareness creates form. And our faith is crucial in that. Because faith is part of what, think of it, faith is part of the fuel that takes that awareness into form. Or think of it, takes that consciousness into creation, into manifestation. And it's faith that helps us do that. So it's not a passive thing. It's a very active inner process. You can't just say, I have faith. You can't just say, I have faith, and not take internal action as well as external action. Yes, you were going to say something.
I just wanted to share something.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to share a scientific fact. We manifest our thoughts. And so if you have a negative thought, it's very important to immediately, first of all, to be able to recognize that. Second of all, to be able to immediately say cancel, cancel, and rephrase that in a positive statement. And sometimes our negativity is such a habit, and it's so common with us, we have to become very aware and working with that to change our state of consciousness. But that's a very, just be very, very aware of your thinking, and if you have something negative, immediately say cancel, cancel. I'm not, and then change it to a positive energy, a positive thought.
And that's how we're in some ways going to use faith as we move forward in our exercise here, is recognizing that. So another thing science tells us, neuroscience tells us, is that we're always predicting what's going to take place. So think about it. You're going to go meet with somebody. You're already predicting how that meeting's going to go. Oh, it's my friend. We're going to have a great lunch. We're going to laugh. We're going to have fun. I always walk away feeling great. You're already thinking that long before you get to that meeting. Or if it's a meeting with your boss, and there's always just nitpicking on me, and I know I'm going to come out of the meeting with more work, and it sucks. And you're predicting that before you even get to the meeting. Well, we know that from neuroscience that as you predict things, then you show up with an anticipation of responding that way, and thus you help create a response to a situation that may not be as you predicted it. Meaning you help move it toward that prediction because you were already predicting it. Yes, Betty?
I would say faith is a verb, not something that you have out here. It's a verb. It is you.
It is you, and that's why it's an action. It's a verb.
An action is a verb.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's not a noun, it's a verb.
Right. And it's not the external to you. It's really, it's you. It's an internal process for you. It's you recognizing and claiming and affirming that truth of who you are. And the truth being away from those negative thoughts that aren't the truth of who you are. As much as we want to try to buy into that, that I suck and I'm bad and I'm no good and I can't do this well and I've never had any talent and I can't this and I can't that, that's not the truth of us. There's a greater truth, because most all those things that we claim that we are not good at or that we suck at, we're trying to compare to somebody else. We're not bad at it. We just don't look like that. And now we think that somehow we're faulty because we don't look that way. Right? Again, we're in some ways using our expectation of what's happening here outside of us. But yes, Betty, thank you for that. So faith trains our brain. It's helping us retrain our brain, just as Cynthia was trying to bring forth for us. That we're trying to retrain the thinking that's been taking place. So it really widens our perception, because we get caught into that. I think this is the only way something can be, right? I bought into it. This is my life, and it's this way, and this is the only way it can be. where faith is helping us open up because it's an action. We're taking action on it, and we're moving us into having greater awareness of who we are, greater expansion of that. So we're opening up our perception. So we're opening up to more possibilities of who we are. And when we open up to those possibilities, we're moving into this great awareness of divine mind. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into really what I want to share with you today, and that is a creative process. And it's a 5-step process. And its really intention is trying to help use faith to keep us aligned before the evidence appears. Keep us aligned with what? Well, keep us aligned with our divine nature. Keep us aligned with those infinite possibilities, those other non-limiting, non-restricting beliefs to help us align with that before whatever it is that we're wanting to see in our lives, whatever we're trying to manifest in our lives. And the first part of that of that creative process is divine idea. Divine mind. So think of that as the absolute. It's God. In divine mind, everything is contained. It's infinite possibilities. So that means divine ideas are contained in divine mind. There are infinite divine ideas. Reverend Paul Hasselbeck, who passed away last year, one of our great metaphysicians in the Unity movement, he used to teach us, think of the idea that here's divine mind. Everything that you can think of is in divine mind. Everything that you've never thought of is in divine mind. Everything that's ever happened, every idea, every experience, everything that was ever manifested is in divine mind. Everything that's taking place here, now, in this moment, is in divine mind. Everything that will happen and could happen is in divine mind. So just an infinite array of possibilities. And those possibilities are those divine ideas. And that when you get an idea, you've plucked one of those divine ideas. Okay? So some of you are sitting in a chair. You're sitting in a chair, but you're sitting at a table. That was a divine idea long before there was ever a table. But somebody went, I want something to put my stuff on, right? And they started imagining a table. Now, what I bet is the table they imagined didn't look anything like this one, right? It probably wasn't round. It probably didn't have a laminate top. It didn't have metal legs. Okay? But they pulled that idea of table, that divine idea, from divine mind. And now they acted on it. In that process of faith, the certainty that they can manifest, they created a table. And then the next person came along and said, but I want my table higher. Oh, I want mine lower. I want it wider. I want it longer. I want it round. I want it square. I want a rectangle. And now we have all these possibilities. All those got plucked from divine mind. So that's true of each and everything that you think that you want in your life, that you're saying, well, it ain't quite here right now. Okay? It's in divine mind. So you can pluck it and develop that idea. And faith, just as Betty's telling us, is already within you. You don't have to go run and find it. It's not hiding under the chair. Okay? It's within us. And we're going to discover that faith more in this process. So creative sequence here in this creative process is divine idea and then faith. And faith is just focused awareness as we're using it in this exercise. So it's where we're bringing our spiritual attention to. It's our focused awareness. And it holds the idea steady in consciousness before the proof appears. And I'm going to offer that this is sometimes the challenge for us is, well, I've been visualizing this thing, but I ain't getting it in my life. Well, it's because, why? Maybe I'll offer it. Why do y'all think you're not getting it? It's not quite the right time. Maybe it's here and I just haven't seen it yet. I hadn't turned to look this way and go, oh, there it is, because I've been looking over here. But also sometimes we've split our attention. So I want a companion in my life. I want a lover. I want a spouse. But I spend all my time working, and all my attention is focused on how am I going to make more money and how am I going to succeed at this job. And I'm not thinking, I'm not focused, I'm not keeping my spiritual awareness on the fact that I want a partner. So yeah, I occasionally come back to thinking about that partner, but it's such a small percentage of my time. What's overrunning it? What's the thoughts and what's the process? And use that as an example for anything in your life, anything that you want. There are other things that you're drawing, that you're splitting your attention with. Or, worse yet, just as we got shared with it, maybe you're splitting it with that part of you that goes, oh, you want more money? You don't deserve more money. And you say, I want more prosperity in life. And that part of you is going, no, you're a terrible person. Look at you. You don't deserve that. Now, of course, that's not true, but that's a justification that happens within our ego for us. So that's the division, the split that happens. So we want our focus to be just that, a focused, spiritually aware on whatever it is that we're looking to manifest in our life. The next is feeling and embodiment. So feeling quickens thought. So if I have a thought and I can add feeling to it, I actually enhance that thought. I enhance it because it actually starts to be lived as truth. So if I have a thought of love, but I have no emotion and no feeling to go with that thought of love, then I'm not bringing it into life. It's just a word held in thought. But if I can bring feeling with it, then in some ways I've activated it and already started the process of it being alive, of it being manifest, of it being in creation. And the next is aligned to action. Because, yes, faith's the verb. So we can't just say, I'm going to hold this in vision and have feeling with it, and boom, it'll be here for me. What is mine to do in this? How do I step up to and interact with this in a way that helps it unfold in my creation? So the statement is simply, what is mine to do with this? And the next is the actual manifestation. And manifestation is a natural result of sustained alignment. So manifestation is the natural result of sustained alignment. So the more that we're conscious, the more we hold that consciousness, the more we can visualize it and have the feeling with that consciousness, the more we're moving into that manifestation with it. So, there's a story. The story's about the lighthouse in fog. And here's this lighthouse. It's been sitting here for generations. There it is. It is old and weathered, but it's been there. And this lighthouse, what it doesn't do is that it doesn't move the rocks. It doesn't make the fog go away. It doesn't change the weather. What it does is just hold its position. And when it's holding its position, the ships out at sea use it as a landmark, because it's holding its position, and they know that it's something stable, something that will always be there. Except this lighthouse, the fog starts rolling in. And as the fog rolls in, you start to cover up the shore, start to dissipate and thicken over the light. You might even think that the waves have grown louder because there's just not as much awareness of anything else. And the ships out at sea might say that their guidance has disappeared for them. But as that lighthouse is there and the ships, the people, the sailors on the ships are being aware, they start to notice something. Just this momentary flash. And sometimes they're not even sure that they saw that flash. They doubted it, right? Oh, did I see it? But they eventually recognize a pattern, and they set their direction according to that pattern, what they're seeing with that pattern. Well, that lighthouse is like our faith. Because we may sometimes, we're in the fog, that we can't see the shore, that we have doubt on whether anything's given us guidance or direction. But that pattern, that steadfastness is always there. And it's for us to, in some ways, just keep looking for it so that we can see that pattern. And as we act upon that pattern, then we get direction for us to go. In fact, I went to Kansas City last month, and I used GPS everywhere I went in Kansas City because I couldn't find nothing without a GPS. And it did great, except I put in a restaurant, and we're getting close to the restaurant, and it tells me to go 2 streets down and turn left. Except to go 2 streets down, I have to cross over the interstate. And in my mind, I'm going, but the restaurant is on this side of the interstate. So why is it taking me down 2 streets down, making me cross over the interstate? I just go a line here around. So I decide I'm going to turn at the first left, not the second left. And of course, I'm trucking down through here. I should have already recognized. First off, it immediately becomes a 1 lane because this lane is just filled with 18-wheelers that are stopped. Matter of fact, there's nobody in these 18-wheelers. They're there unloading for some big event, and this entire lane is blocked. And they're all coming toward me. And then I can also see the intersection up ahead, and I notice that every car in every lane is pointed toward me.
Oh no!
So y'all figured it out, right?
Yeah.
I'm cruising on in. Okay? I'm going one way, the wrong way, down a one way. So fortunately, the light didn't change and they didn't come at me because there was no way I was getting off that one lane. There was nowhere to turn. I would have to back up forever. Okay? What did my GPS do when I turned that wrong way?
Said wrong way.
Well, it recalculated, didn't it? It refigured how I was going to get there. And of course, I just went up, turned and crossed over the interstate, made my first left, and guess what? It took me right to the restaurant. Boom, right there. Again, it's like our faith. Okay? That sometimes we're receiving these things and we doubt, we question. Maybe I didn't catch it. Maybe I didn't hear it this time. Or maybe I just think that I know better. I'm gonna do this. Okay? And when we do this, it can lead us astray. But our faith is always, because it's internal for us, It's always recalculating where we're at and helping point us in the direction. Just like that lighthouse. It's helping point us in the direction we need to go. And it may not be directly at the lighthouse, right? That's maybe the misconception, is that we think that we need to be going directly toward the right lighthouse. When in essence, no, the lighthouse is telling us where not to go. In other words, the direction we need to be going. So, those 5 creative process steps I gave to you, the divine idea is that the harbor already exists. It's already here and available for us. The possibility is already there. Right? And that faith, the lighthouse, stays lit regardless of conditions. Our faith is lit up no matter what's going on in our life. Right? And that feeling and embodiment, the ships learn to trust that pattern. And I know that y'all can relate to this. The more you keep connecting with that silence within you, that's not quite so silent. Okay? We call it the silence, but isn't it quite so silent? It can be quite vocal, quite loud at times. But the more we connect with that, the more we can recognize it, recognize the pattern of it for us. And that's the feeling and embodiment part of this creative process. And the aligned action is that they adjust the course by each flash. That we, in our own lives, what's ours to do? What's the action? How do we adjust what we're doing in our life to help us align with this? And then the manifestation. The shore eventually appears. No matter how clouded, how foggy we think it is, the shore, what we're looking for, will manifest, will show up for us. So, I'm going to take us into this creative process. It's going to take me about 5 minutes. So, we're going to do this together. And I'm going to take you step by step through it. And I'm going to invite you to play along the best you can with it. Because it's something that whatever you choose to utilize it for today can be utilized for anything in your life. So let's just begin here. I want to invite you to close your eyes, because what I want you to do as you're listening to my voice, I want you to go internal, because this is an inner process. Your faith is inner. That silence that you're sitting in and resting in is inner. So close your eyes so that your attention is more focused inner for you. So as you take a breath in and you exhale it, just allow that body to relax. You're breathing in and you're breathing out. Just allowing whatever thoughts, they can just drift away like clouds in the sky, just drifting off. You can come back to them, but you don't need them at the moment. And I want you to choose an area in your life that you want to focus on. So it could be your health, it could be relationships, it could be work. Just what's that area that you want to focus on? And I want it to be clear, not your whole life, just one area, one thing you're going to focus on. And now we're going to, without worrying about how it's going to happen, we're going to phrase what it is that we're wanting to focus on as our highest good. Meaning that we're going to name our highest good in just one simple little statement. As an example, If I were looking for health, I may say that I have steady healing. If I'm looking for a new job, I may say I have a right livelihood. So my highest good would be steady healing, would be right livelihood. Whatever the words are that you feel conveys it in the highest manner, is the highest good for you in your life. So being clear, not labeling it as something that's not there. Don't identify as the lack, as the absence. But what's the highest good, the highest version of that in your life? So as you imagine this highest good, imagine it as already present. Again, you don't have to worry about how that's taken place. But imagine that it's already here. And if it's already here, how do you feel? Is there ease? Is there a softness that takes place with that? Is there a gentleness? Is there an uplifting? Is there a joy? How do you feel? And be aware in your body. Maybe it's a body sensation. Do you feel it in your tummy? Do you feel it in your shoulders? Maybe in your thighs? What do you feel when that highest good is right here, right now? Now see yourself moving through a day with that highest good being right here, right now. Maybe you're looking for peace in your life. And you see that peaceful connection, that highest good, that peaceful connection. And it's unfolding in your life, and you see the ease happening in all your events in your day. Just see your day unfolding with this highest good and the feeling that you associate with it. Now, we're practicing faith here. So just hold your awareness on that highest good, on the feeling, how it unfolds during your day. Just hold your awareness there, keeping your consciousness. And as we say so often here, thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. We're helping reinforce, we're anchoring this highest good, this feeling, this life being lived that way. We're anchoring it in our consciousness. And if your thoughts drift away, well then drift right back. It's okay. Thoughts will drift. Just bring yourself back. Be unconcerned with figuring out how it has to happen. It's not your responsibility today. You have no need to worry about that. And with that, whether you say this out loud or just to yourself, I want you to affirm, I anchor my awareness in divine possibility. I anchor my awareness in divine possibility. I anchor my awareness in divine possibility. And as you're anchored in that divine possibility, then what's the next step for you? Not the whole plan, don't have that all figured out. Just what's a step, the next step? What is yours to do? And when you're ready, I want you to just open your eyes, return to this space, be aware of being in the room and the people around you. And you can share this or not share this. That's unimportant whether you need to share it or don't need to share it. It's just what you would prefer. I at least want you to add this last thing. Today I practice faith by focusing on what? My highest good. So whatever you had is your highest good. Focused on feeling what? What was the feeling that went with that? And choosing what? What's the one step? So today I practice faith by focusing on and feeling and choosing. Just a way of helping you anchor and affirm what you just did in the process. And Betty, do you want to share anything about what you were experiencing? Do you want to share anything, Betty, about what you were experiencing? You don't have to, but I just know that.
I just wanted to say I will. I almost immediately felt from this group this great fullness and awareness and comfort. And I really relate to the magnetic power that emanated. And I will admit that it's, I will say the word, scares me, this upcoming surgery. And I'm so glad to be here with people who are with me because I have it now. You know, what I heard was, I got you. I got you. That's what I heard. And so I want to hold on to that. So when I go home, as I go about the next couple of week, you know, I'm going to remember that. I got you. I got you.
I got you. I like that one. Thank you. Thank you.
And let it happen. Just let it happen.
And from where I sit, anything that you perceived outside of us, outside of you, is because it was already within you, and you just recognized it. Okay? So all that magnetic draw and all the other things that you said, Betty, it's because it's right there, and you're drawing magnetically to you the outcome that you want, the manifestation you want.
Yeah.
And yes, you're human. We're all human, and things frighten us and they worry us and concern us, and that's just part of our life and part of the experience here. We all in this room have those experiences, and the fact that you were willing to share that with us too, to affirm or to claim it, because you can claim it now, you can affirm it differently. You can change it.
And my deal is to let it happen. Stop. Now they got it. Don't try to make it.
Yes.
No, just let it. Let it.
Well, that's so that's why the one step. I don't know all the things that I need to do to make this thing that I want in my life manifest. Russ doesn't know every piece that has to fall together. But I can do one thing. And what is my one? Your one might be just to show up on January 21st, right?
Mm-hmm.
and say, here I am, bring it.
Bring it on.
And who's got me? Who's got me? So thank you. Yes, Drew.
In 2 previous surgeries I've had, what helped me, and we've already done it, is ask the physician to join with me in the positive outcome. Because they have all these, this could happen, that could happen, and you have to sign off. Let's not go there. Let's look at the complete success of this surgery. And I've had 2 of them where the physician joined with me on that.
Yes. Yes, thank you, Drew.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I'm gonna just move us to your practice. Your practice is doing this exercise. Just spend 5 minutes each day on the same focus. Don't try to add different focuses. And if on this front table here, where Jeannie and Brittany and Gail or Pam, Lorraine are all sitting, there's some handouts that go through this exercise if you want a handout. But do this exercise, just spend minutes with it each day. Stay with the same focus. Just again, you don't want to divide your focuses. Stay with the same focus this week. And that's your practice. So we'll close with that. As we practice faith this week, we place our awareness where life is unfolding, not where it has already been. We're opening up to those infinite possibilities, not the life that we've been living, but the life that is unfolding right here in these infinite opportunities for us. So with that, I'm going to apologize. I ran over today. You can chastise me afterwards, okay? I know you. Hi there.
Hi, I just want to thank you. And one note is that kept coming up for me in the meditation or in the service was the words of Jesus. I do nothing of myself, but I do that which I see my Father do, which is our next step is in that process. So
Yes.
It was
Yes.
a very, oh my God, I got to search a God box. Very
Thank you. Thank you, Susan. Thank you. All right. So with that, let me move us forward. This is our opportunity to share our abundance. I'm going to invite, we do this because, yes, this community needs financial abundance to be able to maintain our space, do the things, work on addressing and fulfilling our mission and vision for us. But we do this process. You can do the basket. Go back there with Dave. Get Dave to help you do the basket. Absolutely. And who's standing up back there? He's got the basket. But prosperity is a consciousness. So this is so much what Charles Fillmore used to try to share that, in his process of, we're taking an offering and we're receiving your gifts. But this is a process for you to help reinforce your prosperity. So I'm going to invite you to treat it like a process and recognize that it's more than just your generosity that you're providing to Unity of Little Rock. It's a process in which you're helping expand you and expand your own prosperity. So we do that by taking whatever your gift is, just like we've done some great visualizing. What's your gift? Maybe you hold it in hand. Maybe you've already put it in the basket. Maybe you give online. Okay? Be aware of that gift and hold it intentionally in your hand. And if your gift is that you volunteer here, you help with the coffee, you bring goodies, you work on platform, you move plants and set up signs and all the other little things that are small but significant. Hold those gifts. How you share yourself, be of service in this community. Hold that in intention. And as you're holding an intention, let us say our blessing together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I send it forth with my blessings and my love. And the key here is you gave And as you give, you release. And as you release, you're no longer contracted, you're expanding. And in that expansion, there's a flow that happens so that you can manifest more in your life. The more we constrict, the more we hold down, the more we get that singular focus that we talked about, the less